YouTubers, and welcome back. And today this is more of a continuation on the small block Chevy or LT1 swap headers that they make. And right here I have a round port, and right here I have a square port. And of course, if you look, most of the aftermarket heads, majority of them, they do have a lot of D ports, which is more in line with the LT1. If you're running a Vortec, of course you're going to want a round port. So the 1 5/8, like a viewer pointed out, these are the larger long tubes, but they are still a round port. And you'll see really quickly right here how they don't quite match up even to these small ports on a stock LT1 head. Because y'all know mine, I didn't know anything about cars when I first got into them. So when I ported them LT1 heads, I did them way bigger than I should have. So I was kind of put in a group that I had to just make it work, which is why I've always gone with the larger port headers, just because I had to get them to match up. You guys right here, if you plan on using stock size ports on your LT1, you can probably get away with a lot more. So today we're talking about all that, so let's get started. My drink of the afternoon is a Bloody Mary. Trying to be healthy at the same time. Not sure if it really cancels itself out or if it actually is a healthier drink. Probably is. Hopefully the lawnmower over here isn't too loud. If it is, let me go check out this audio real quick, because I'm using the GoPro because I'm lazy. I'm not using one of my better cameras. So let me check out the audio real quick, and if it sounds like crap, I'll grab the better camera. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I think I'm gonna use this camera. One of the benefits about this camera is, number one, you can see yourself because you can flip the screen around, make sure your framing's right. Number two, you can monitor your audio. And number three, I'm wearing like I'm about to go on a sting right here. That way the wind doesn't get through my shirt. I can move around and not worry about it. I heard that the GoPro had some horrible from the wind. All right, so back to the video. That was kind of a distraction. All right, so first we'll talk about the 1 5/8 long tubes for a V8 swap and an S10. These do work. I'm not sure if I had these that are smaller ones. I can't remember. They were the first ones that I had that came with the truck, so I used them. So I can't remember if it was these or the smaller ones. Don't remember. They do say, have very specific notes in here that you definitely want to run a filter relocation kit, which is obvious because when I got mine, I just got the headers. I didn't have any of these instructions. You know, I'm back in the day, in the early 2000s, there wasn't a lot of these videos on YouTube, so you're kind of flying blind. So which is awesome now for you guys. People like me and everyone else can make all these videos so you know exactly what they get. So your information is way easier to grasp and know exactly what you want to do with your setup. That's why I'm doing this for you guys. So say you want to use these headers right here on your stock port LT1 because you don't care about, you know, making them bigger. You just want to have some fun and do some burnouts, and these motors and an S10 will definitely do that. So let me go ahead and put this guy up with some bolts real quick. All right, so automatically you see there's a big problem right here. The bottom of the port is not really that much of a concern because most of the velocity, actually all the velocity, is coming off the top. But you can see right here, it is blocking the top half of the port. And blocking the top half of your port is something you do not want because it's going to add turbulence. And you know, maybe if you have a stock motor and you have it like this might not do too much damage. But if you want to go anything performance or whatever you want to do, you don't want any of your port being blocked. So what I'm going to do, it does look like if you really wanted to use the round ports on your stock head, you can make it work. So let's talk about that real quick. All right, so if you wanted to go to a long tube that went in between the frame rails and not out the fenders, you could get this round port header to work. I don't know if the 1 5/8 headers are more oval, so maybe this will be out more in an oval pattern so that you don't have to raise them up. But you can see right here, you're going to have to do the exact same thing that I did to my squares, and it made them a D for the LT1, as you will right here, because they don't really match up, because this is for a different head, of course, and not these D port heads. They do make a shorty and a D. I can't remember exactly what size pipe they make it in. If those work, like I don't have them, so I can't test them, so I can't say if they work or don't work. But if they do, if you're not going to change the port in your LT1, then you definitely could use the Ds from the Hedman page and get those to work right there. But the only thing is, if you wanted to go bigger than this D, or bigger on your pipes, or start to make more horsepower, you're going to have to replace your headers regardless of something else. If you want to go to the fender exit, of course they have a lot more varieties than that, but if you want to keep them inside the frame rail, there's not too many options as far as long tubes go for the LT1. Alright, so now we're going to put the square port on the LT1 head, and this is the main reason why I recommended these. If you want to have something that has a big primary tube that goes in between your frame rail that you don't have to do as much modification to, I do believe on these stock ports, I bet you that this will be able to bolt right up without changing. So we'll see right now. Well, alright, so this one is actually pretty darn close. If you had running stock ports on your LT1 with the headers that I have on there right now, nice big tubes. Now there is a lot of header science that goes with them matching up perfectly, and turns and efficiency and long tubes. I'm not going to pretend to understand any of that, but there is one thing that all header sizes have in common, no matter long tubes or whatever, it's going to be size. After a point, there's only so much air you can push through a smaller orifice. Kind of like the same problem with these LT1 ports right here. Exhaust, you do have a little more room for maneuverability as far as scavenging and all of that than the intake side, but after a point there's only so much air you can get out. So that's why I always recommend going a little bit bigger than you need to, and it really does not hurt horsepower that much at all. Maybe on a stock size port LT1 with stock cam, it may kill a little bit of bottom end. It might not. I don't have a dyno to test that out, but looking at this right here, it is pretty darn close. It's a little tiny hit on the top. So if you guys just kind of massage them a little bit, just to push it up just a tad, like so. Let's go up, we'll see. See right there? Now, I barely moved it. And right there. Now, if you see when I move my finger over across the top, it's not grabbing any of the port. So those square ports, 1 3/4 headers to a 3-inch collector, would still be my #1 choice for an LT1 if you didn't want long tubes and you wanted your headers to go in between the frame rails. Because honestly, an all-out race header on a stock LT1 head is just plain overkill. It's not going to do anything for you. And if you just have a stock LT1, you want to put a little cam in there and not really do too much to it, I'm still going to recommend this header. So now you guys know what I'm talking about now. Now, like I said before, they do make a D-port shape shorty from Hedman. And also Sanderson makes a lot of different and larger D-port sizes. So if you guys want to try them, that's fine. I didn't go with Sanderson. I actually had a D-port 1 5/8 header in Sanderson. It was a good header. I mean, I used it a long time on my LT1. One thing that I do know about Sanderson is right now is they are a lot more money, and I still had to massage those headers also. They have one that comes up right here and goes up and down. I ordered that one. I tried it, but I didn't use it because it would not clear my steering shaft in my S10. Yours might not be that problem, but on mine it would not clear. Like I said, I have custom mounts that some guy made when I bought it a long time ago. He made his own mounts, so maybe your mounts will work. I don't know. I can't speak to that. But I do know that your best bang for your buck, if you want a header that goes in between your frame rails, is definitely going to be the Hedman square port headers. And they're larger. They seem to fit nice. And honestly, like the Sanderson, as opposed to the Hedman, they're both a little, a shorty or mid-length, and they bolted up to the exact same spot. I didn't have to modify my old exhaust at all, and they both work. So they're probably using some of the same, blueprints or whatever they use, jig, for their welding up of the headers. Now, I do know that the 1 1/2 inch, 2 1/2 inch collector D ports from Hedman, those are not much better than a stock manifold. So you might as well use a stock manifold if you want those headers for your S10, which is why, again, I recommend going bigger, because you have a little more room for growing in the future. And with that said, you guys keep on wrenching. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that bell for notifications, and peace.